one of the most underrated factors in building a physique is time. Getting results is all about consistency. Doing things day after day, producing a cumulative effect over time. This is my 20-year transformation. I started my journey at a very young age. I was doing calisthenics as early as 10 years old. I was a very small kid. I started weights training at 14 and did it all through high school and university. At this stage, I didn't have any plans of competing in bodybuilding. I really just wanted to be fitter, stronger, and completely ripped. At this young age, I was more interested in the fitness model type of look. And I had a few agencies that were a little bit interested, but told me that I was way too short. However, I had pretty good genetics for bodybuilding. I really preferred the classic style bodybuilding look. I was so lean all the time from doing so much training and just avoiding junk food that I was able to do my first contest with only 4 weeks prep. I was 20 years old and competing in the juniors. I did pretty well. I won quite a few local and state shows within my first few years of competing. I always had a passion for arts and entertaining people and developed a reputation for getting the crowd going with my posing routines. I wasn't a normal kid. I spent most of my years growing up feeling like I never really fit in. I was very shy and quite withdrawn from people, which may seem a little unusual considering I'm the opposite when I'm performing. Very quirky, very creative. Believe it or not, one of my biggest barriers for me, and still is social anxiety. It's like you have all these ideas that you want to share and you want to express, but your brain just tries to stop you. You have this intense fear of social judgment and of failure. Having a perfectionist temperament can lead to achieving some incredible things, but it can also be paralyzing due to the constant self-criticisms and feelings of it never really being good enough or ready. So you end up not finishing things or never putting them out to the world. It's a very strange feeling to understand if you haven't experienced it. I have a tendency to be quite obsessive with things that I really put my mind to the point where a lot of the people that I was around at the time found it very strange to put so much effort and sacrifice into something. After experiencing a lot of success during my early bodybuilding career, I experienced my first taste of haters. Success, I found, it can inspire others, but it can also make people very bitter, jealous, and negative. You can sometimes go out with the intention of being the best that you can be, trying to do good for yourself and trying to inspire others to do the same. I get a lot of intrinsic value from sharing my experiences with people and great satisfaction from helping others do the same. But it doesn't always work like that in reality. And you can end up experiencing the opposite by having people hating on you when you start to do well. At least that's how it can sometimes be perceived. If you're a little bit neurotic and pessimistic as I was, you can focus too much on the negative and completely miss the positive and create this distorted perception. Although in reality, I had way more supporters than haters. The other important thing to remember is that hate never comes from above. It always comes from below. I've never met anyone hating on me who's actually doing better than me. Sometimes it's just trolling and sometimes it's just negativity related to their own insecurities. This is almost always the case, and I'm sure people watching can relate to this. Anyway, at that young age, I had so much potential physically, and combined with the high level of discipline and tolerance for delayed gratification, allowed me to become very successful. But I ended up quitting for a while. Because to be successful, you need a thick skin, and that was just something I didn't have. I spent a few years just focusing on work, family, relationships, and I was pretty happy. It wasn't that I didn't like bodybuilding anymore, it's more just that I didn't want to deal with the negative shit that came with it. Eventually I came back to it, getting excited about training and competing again in 2011 when I started working in a gym run by a good friend of mine. I competed again at the end of 2012 and won my first major overall title, Mr. Queensland. This opened up a lot of opportunities. And yeah, I had some pretty crazy hairstyles back then. I missed the 2013 season due to injuries, but competed again in 2014 and qualified to compete overseas at the Natural Olympia. And I ended up winning this comp. It was the first time overseas and my first ever world title victory, which completely changed my perspective on everything. It was from that point that I started to really believe in myself more and set my sights higher, not only in bodybuilding, but in other areas of my life also. The following year, the first ever Arnold Classic came to Australia, and I knew I had to be a part of it. I competed and won the lightweight men's and got to meet Arnie. Well, got to shake his hand anyway. After doing so many competitions back to back for so long, I rebounded pretty badly after this and put on a fair bit of water weight and a lot of body fat very, very fast, which illustrates how important lifestyle is. But I managed to get back on track with some structured training and diet, and now I like to maintain a healthy 8 to 12% year round when I'm not competing. I've kept competing since my first Arnold's in 2015 and have since won quite a few titles, mostly in classic physique. Recently winning the overall title in classic physique at the Arnold State Qualifier, and then just missing out on the IFBB Pro card, coming runner-up at the Arnold's Australia. I've always had a passion for art. I can envision the kind of physique that I want to create and see how I want it to look in my mind's eye. You sculpt your body with your training, diet, and lifestyle. I still love to bring that artistic flair, and I'm always an entertainer at heart. Bodybuilding to me is more than just a sport. It's a lifestyle and an art form. If you like this video and can relate to it at all, please give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more content on training, nutrition, lifestyle, and mindset.